All right, today we're going to be going through and we are talking about the renewal process of a PMD license, whether it's for a certified applicator or a qualified applicator. First, I want to talk about how does renewal season typically make you feel. For some of us, we're confused. It's not a fun time. We don't know what we're doing. It can be a hassle. There's a lot of changes. For some of us, we get a little sad thinking about how many hours we have to sit through, be it in class or how much money we're paying for all of our technicians this renewal. This QR code is going to bring you to this YouTube video that you're watching right now. And hopefully, if you take a picture of this, you share it with somebody who is going through the renewal process or somebody who is at a office who maybe isn't even licensed themselves, but they're doing all of the admin licensing work. If anybody's handling license renewal, take a picture of this, send it to them. They can find this video easily and make the licensing process easy this year, okay? So they don't look like those other guys. First place you're going to go is to the PMD's website, which is opm.azda.gov. They do have information on their new website through the Department of Agriculture. But I find for most of my purposes, I almost exclusively use the old PMD's website, which again is opm.azda.gov. First thing I did here is I did a license search. You see down here, over on the left-hand side, you have a license search, and you can search for either a company or an individual. In this case, I searched an individual. As long as you know your first and last name, which most of us do on a good day, then we can pull up and search and see, is our license renewed? Do we have the hours that we need? When does our license expire? What categories do we have? What is our license number? We don't have to have our username and password. I think a lot of times we rely on somebody else to do the renewal for us, whether it be a wife or a supervisor or a secretary or whoever it is. We rely on somebody else to do it. We delegate that responsibility. We come in, we get our credits, and somebody else is paying the fee. If that's the case and you don't have the information for your username and password, you at least have the information to do this, what we're talking about here. You could search yourself, you could make sure that your license has been renewed properly, and you want to make sure that it is before May 31st comes and goes, okay? So again, once you do the license search there on the PMD's website, it'll pull up this box. You search your first and last name. Sometimes people get confused, and this pops up, and they think that's all the information they get. But if you click that More Information button there, this is what you'll get. This is my wife's certification. I always love to use her as an example each year. And with her license, she's registered to 2 companies, Pest Patrol, which is my dad's company, and she's a qualifying party for Pathfinder Pest Control. If you look down, her certified applicator licenses have expired. Her qualified applicator license was renewed last year. It expires this year. And if you click down at the bottom, you can see how many CEUs she has accumulated already this year. So again, this is before she renewed. This was showing that she renewed last in 2023, April 19th. Her license expires this year, and she has 12 credit hours available to renew, which is how many hours you need for a qualified applicator. If you're a certified applicator, you only need 6 hours to renew. If you have a certified applicator's license and a qualified applicator's license, you still only need the 12 hours to renew your license. Okay. Where do you renew? You're going to go to the PMD's website again. You're going to click on the My PMD for Individual tab on the top of the page. You're going to log in and then click Easy Renew. I'll show you what that looks like here. Looking at the top of that page, again, the PMD's old website is the My PMD for Individual button. It's the blue button there. Once you're into that page, down at the bottom part of this screen, on the left-hand side, you'll see the Easy Renew. You're going to click on that button there. Everybody with me so far? Okay. Once you click on that button, it's going to pull up your fees, how much you owe this year. If you have 2 licenses, a certified applicator and a qualified applicator, you might see both of those listed here. Right now, she only has the qualified applicator license, and it says that she is administratively incomplete. That is hugely important. If it says that for yourself or any applicators that you're renewing, make sure you save or print that page right then. Okay? As we click through, that statement of lawful presence document is right here. And the issue with the statement of lawful presence document is that in Arizona, the PMD is required to make sure that you, in order to maintain a certification, you're legally present. You're lawfully present in the state. Okay? If you're a citizen, you're always lawfully present. But a driver's license is not proof of citizenship. And so if all the PMD has on file is a driver's license, it has to be resubmitted every year along with a statement saying that you're still lawfully present in Arizona. If, however, you get them proof of citizenship, if you send them a birth certificate along with the driver's license, or you send them a passport, which is proof of citizenship along with photo ID, in those situations, it's a one and done thing. You don't have to continue to resubmit it. So my recommendation is when you hire any new people, make sure you use the birth certificate and the driver's license, or you use the passport. If that's not an option, and you're just using the driver's license, you're going to run into this every year as an issue. It's going to have to be resubmitted. And thousands of people, I think, have lost their license due to this issue. So it's something definitely to pay attention to. Okay. After I paid for it, it brought up some billing information. I put that in, paid for it, got a receipt. Then it gives me the renewal confirmation page. And on this page, normally it was emailed to me. This year, it was, what are we in March 2024. I didn't get the email automatically sent to me. So you might not get it. Make sure you print this page. Okay? But again, it's going to show me here that it is administratively incomplete because of those reasons we just talked about. And it's telling you what is citizenship versus proof of lawful presence. And if you have a proof of citizenship, if you're doing this, do that at the time. Otherwise, you're going to have to continue to do this every year. Okay? At the bottom of that page, the weird thing is that you can see it was renewed. This was just a couple of days ago. So it was March 12th, 2024. It was renewed. But it still is going to expire on May 31st, 2024. So she got her hours. We saw that. I showed you the receipt. She paid her fee. And at the end, it says, hey, your license is still going to expire on May 31st of this year. What's going on? Well, that's the whole administratively incomplete thing. So PMD has gotten a lot better at making it really, really clear as you're going through the process. Okay? But not all of you, again, are going through the process yourself. Someone else is doing it. And if they're not paying attention and they don't let you know that they forget to submit that statement of lawful presence, your license is still going to expire. So again, you go to this license search, and you can do a license search on yourself, pull it up, and make sure that it's good before the end of the year. Okay? Once you click continue here, it pulls up this weird thing that says you're not eligible to renew your certifications because of insufficient CEUs. And I get calls on this a lot during the renewal season. Because somebody will call me and they'll be like, what's going on? I don't know what's happening. It says, I'm not eligible to renew. And I'll pull it up and I say, you already renewed. I can see that you renewed. You just renewed today. And they go, what said I didn't renew? It's just something that pulls up. It's running the totals and you've already just used your hours to renew. And so it's saying you don't have enough to renew again. But you've already renewed. And we'll double check that by, again, going to the license search, searching it here. This was my wife's license. It was renewed 2 days ago on the 12th. Still expires this year, but all of her CEUs are gone. Okay? So what do? I got to email the PMD, the statement of lawful presence, okay, that we talked about, that we had to print there, and we'll go into more detail in a second. I do want to talk about something really quick, and you can tell this was a last-minute addition to this presentation. April 30th is something that's changed. If you've been to classes with us before or you've seen me teach on some things, it used to be if your license expired, but you had your credits, right? Like my wife, her license is going to expire still this year on May 31st. So she's gotten her hours, paid her fee, but her license still expires. It used to be that you could only redeem that certification if you noticed it before June 30th. So you had like a month after you renewed to be able to rectify these administrative changes. April 30th is that new date of the next year. So if your license expires for any reason, as long as before your license expired, even if you didn't pay your fee, but before your license expired on May 31st, you got all 6 hours or all 12 hours of continuing education that you need, you can still pay a late fee and redeem that license late all the way up until April 30th of the following year. Now, you still couldn't have been making applications during that time. Your license is expired. But where that sometimes comes into play is we'll hire somebody who maybe got licensed in December and then got his CEUs in March and then left the industry before his renewal was paid, and then comes back to work in January the next year. He doesn't even have to go through fingerprinting and licensing again. In fact, we'll catch these guys in the class every now and then. We just go, oh, no, just go pay a late fee. But again, you had to have had your hours before May 31st, before it expired. Okay? So just something to keep in mind. What I like about the April 30th is that that's the date that you should always aim to get your CEUs before. Okay? And really 10 days prior to that, depending on where you're getting them. A CEU provider has 10 days to record your CEUs. And it happens all the time. As this happened last year, I'm sure it's going to happen this year. On April 30th, we had somebody, we take CEUs online, we go to record their credit, and when we recorded it, it popped up and said, hey, this person's license has expired. Okay, so we pull them up, we see their license expired last year. Just like my wife, it looked like this. They had renewed it that year, so they got their hours and they paid their fee, but their license still expired. And now they're waiting, and they go, well, I did my part. I know I did my part. I did what I was supposed to do. I came to class. But it doesn't matter. You're the one that's going to have to come in and retest and do everything if somebody didn't pay it, if it didn't get paid. You got to take responsibility for your license. But when we're looking at this, if we get our hours before April 30th, that guy, we called him back. We said, hey, good news. Call the PMD like today. This is the last day you can call the PMD, pay a late fee, and redeem your license. And then once you do, call us back and we can record the credit. Okay? He was fine. The very next day, May 1st, this guy was too late. Same exact problem. Same exact scenario, but one day later. He got his hours, he paid his fee the year before, but some administrative person didn't resubmit the driver's license. And he did not resubmit the driver's license in the statement of lawful presence. Okay? We call him, and our advice is, you need to stop spraying, you got to reapply for a new license, you got to come get fingerprinted again, you're going to have to retest. A day difference. So always try to get in and get continuing education at least 1 hour before April 30th. And really 10 days prior to that, because a continuing education provider has 10 days to record it. So if you got one in, but you didn't catch it till after, it wouldn't matter. Okay? This is the email I sent to the Department of Agriculture. I put the statement of lawful presence, my wife's 10-digit testing ID number, and I sent with this the front and back of her driver's license, and I included the 10-digit ID number and attached the statement of lawful presence document. Now, you would have saved that at the beginning because it would have popped up like we talked about. One of the first things that popped up as you begin the renewal. If you did not save it there, because you probably didn't, this is where you're going to find it. They can be kind of a pain to find documents specifically in the PMD's website. So pause this video on the YouTube, go to the PMD's website. You can see exactly where to find that statement of lawful presence document. After I emailed Pest Management Division, Amanda got back to me right away within a day or two and said that it has been completed and everything is done. I have a hard time trusting people, so I always do one final check, and I go back to the old license search, and I do one final check, and I pull up my wife's certification here, and I see that, in fact, her license will expire on 2025. And that's the big deal. The expiration date is the big deal. That's the number one thing. You see that expiration date move to the next year or 2 years out, if you did a 2-year renewal, you're good to go. Okay? When that is still this year, then you're going to have some problems. And call me or call PMD or call somebody, but get it fixed before May 31st if you can. But again, as long as you have all of your hours in before May 31st and you're doing your part and there's some admin issue and there's, that's causing stress, remember that can still be redeemed up until April 30th. So you're not going to lose your license, but you can't continue to spray during that time. So you do have a little bit of that window, but I don't know how much it helps you if you're not going to be able to work. So always do a final check. Always use that license search tool to pull up. Anytime you get continuing education credits, 10 days that provider has to give you credits. If you take them with us at Metro, in person, we record them before you leave. If you take them with us online, we record them our next business day, okay? And so if you're taking them Monday, they'll be recorded Tuesday. If you take them Thursday, Friday, Saturday, or Sunday, they'll be recorded Monday because we're closed Friday, Saturday, Sunday, okay? One last thing, if you have a business license or you're the person that's renewing everybody on the business, and that's your responsibility, that's your job, this video is kind of for you, so I hope you enjoyed it. But when we look at this, you do the same type of search on the PMD's website, the license search, except you click companies. I'm going to use my dad's company here as an example, Pest Patrol. This is one of the only spots that I see where it shows you where the business license expires. You can also get that by just looking at your business license, by logging into the portal. But as far as like a quick, easy way to see, like, did I renew that yet? Without any kind of password, it's right here. Once you click into it, it doesn't really show you. But again, you click into that more information button, and it's going to show you a list of all of your applicators. This is a good time at renewal time to make sure that you remove anybody that's no longer employed, that's not an applicator anymore. Register anybody that you forgot to register that should have been registered already. If somebody slipped through the cracks, double check you're not missing anybody on there. This is still pretty early. The only reason I even did my wife's license so early is so I could do this example, film it today. And we're doing the Great Western Conference in about a week and a half. And I was going to do all of this content, and I decided I'll summarize everything I'm covering into just one QR code that they could scan if they want to get this information about the licensing renewal, because they've heard me talk about it before. But if you look at my dad's business license here, it shows the QP, but it shows all of your applicators, and you can just use that list. Some companies have 15, 20, 30, 100 applicators. This is one page. You can go down and make sure every single person says 2025. Anybody still says 2024, you got to take a look and see what's going on. Make sure that you get them completing their CEUs or get their fee paid, or if that's done, probably they need the statement of lawful presence. Okay? One last thing before I go is that the PMD has been making a lot of changes. They approved a new rule change in March of last year, 2023. And we haven't really seen a whole lot of effects come of that yet, but sometimes those things happen a little slower as we begin to understand what's there. Stay up to date with their updates. So take a picture of that, scan it. You'll be able to stay up to date with whatever the PMD is doing. You can enroll in different things. They don't send a ton of stuff. They send out stuff once or twice or a few times a year. It's not a lot. But in the next few years, the kind of stuff that they're sending out, you're going to want to read probably a couple of times. and then probably try to find the YouTube page to figure out what some of it means, and so that way you can get some clarification on some of it. We're going to try to keep this page open and posting with whatever stuff that you guys have questions about. So this will be just the first video that we post on there, but we'll continue to post videos of things that you guys have questions about. So if you have questions or there's licensing processes that your staff has problems with, or there's things that you've got questions about when it comes to the renewal process or licensing or things that you'd want to see us do for YouTube content, get in contact with me here. You've got my email address, my phone number. I'm on LinkedIn and Instagram. Any questions about anything from my guys in the class today? All right, if you're watching online, if you have questions, email, call. Thanks for coming. That's it.